Well, I think that every time the market drops significantly, you're going to start getting stories about how U.S.-China relations aren't that bad and how President Trump is going to meet with someone or make a big change. So I don't think that this is surprising that they're now starting to talk about the Buenos Aires meeting in late November, because this is giving people hope that maybe this isn't going to slide off a cliff. January 1, rising tariffs to 25% was pretty ominous before, and now this gives market hope and a reason to rebound if it wants to.
Richard, are you in the same place, and are you of the view that there's going to be a solution here?
Well, there has to be one, because if it was just Canada and aluminum and steel, that's kind of micro. But if it's the two big guys in the neighborhood going toe-to-toe, and then it becomes multi-industry, the market might be looking now for something to say, will this correction be something worse, like a bear market? So if they don't fix this, this is a good reason to be worried.
How much do you think, by the way, I don't know how much you've been focused on this, you know, last week after that Business Week article came out about these chips that were in our potentially in our systems, and all the sides said it wasn't, you know, the company said it wasn't true, but the other, that also seemed to spook the market, especially the technology sector. How much of that you think is weighing on this?
I don't think it's a critical variable, but it's weighing on some investors' sentiment. Some are using it as a buying opportunity.
A buying opportunity for what?
For some of those chip names that were associated with it as being responsible for the breach. But by and large, it creates a negative sentiment, you know, for investors. Right. But one thing that's interesting is, what do you gentlemen think President Xi and his administration thinks of our president? How do they perceive him?
Well, I think that they are reevaluating a lot of what they thought before. They thought that he was going to be someone who could wait out and who would eventually roll over because he didn't have much attention span. They have definitely reevaluated that, but I think that the one thing they hold out hope for is that this is a guy who can change the landscape with a tweet. He's a guy who can go to late November to Buenos Aires and make a deal and change everything. So while they are getting increasingly nervous about future supply chains, currency, et cetera, they realize that they can't push this too much because there's always the possibility that their luck could change. So I think January 1 is actually a very big deal, because if the tariffs do go up, I think they think that this ship has sailed, at least for a while. But until then, there's hope. This could change.
Richard, how damaged is the Chinese economy right now, and therefore how much leverage does the president really have here? And I say President Trump.
Yeah. So zoom out to a 10-year chart of the S&P 500, emerging markets, EFI, and you can see that emerging markets and EFI look generally sideways since the financial crisis in general, and the U.S. has been generally upwards. 2018, S&P straight up, emerging, China, anything other than U.S. pretty much down. So the concern is really more of the U.S. Now, you're talking about chips from China. I don't know anything about that, but what I do know is that the Chinese are looking at this election and kind of thinking, what does Trump want from me? So we don't like U.S. forces to move up just a little bit more from the DMZ to our Chinese border. So we've got that on Trump. What else can they impose? Well, any sort of tariff war means that Trump voters who probably buy stuff on Amazon and Walmart are not going to be happy with this added tax for their shopping list. So for now, I'm just trying to think of what can Trump use to go against that in his election year. And if he's just pointing fingers at a potential enemy so that he can make himself as the leader to change things, so be it. It's just that I think the Chinese have a pretty good hand.